It's so funny. I've been I've been adding these hooks to like everything, all the all the programs I use, because they all of them have some kind of behavior that I don't like. Like this one, for instance. I can put this away now. I get going with too many things running, and so now I've been using this thing has a suspend feature, this process explorer, so I can suspend something that's eating up too much time. But anyway, this program has a problem to do with the open file dialog. What else is new? All programs have a problem to do with the get open file name function, right? And this one's problem, I wonder if I still have, I should have the original. I need this thing. I should have a underscore something somewhere. Oh, it's not the, yeah, it's not the program in this case. The culprit's this Qt GUI for yeah, I've changed this organization slightly. It's something called hooks, which now I'm breaking it. I have to break it down by which program because they use the same DLL. And this one needs fixing in COM DLG 31. Sorry, 32. I should have a copy of the original. Hopefully this is the original. Can I edit this? Yeah. By the way, in case you didn't know, DLL files, dynamic link libraries, also start with the characters MZ, just like a .exe file, and they also have this same text in it, as if you could run it as a program. Maybe you could. If I ran this under debug, maybe this message would show up. There should be some code. I wonder. I'm curious now. Insufficient memory. That's the only way I can get into a 16-bit smaller DLL. Okay, here's a small one, common DLL, or how about, it's the smallest one I've got. There, small. See, MZ. Now, there's no, although it would be an EXE, we loaded it as an EXE. If I say go, did it print out a message? It quit. It should have printed out the characters. This program cannot be run in under DOS. And they had that message put in when Windows was initially designed to discriminate between a Windows program and a DOS executable program, even though they were both 16-bit programs. One was intended to be run under the Windows environment, the Win16 environment, and another just DOS. Now it quit, which means it ran. That means it ran correctly as a 16-bit program, but it may be that it printed a string and we didn't see it, but overwritten by this message. How can we see it? I wonder. How can we see it? Well, just looking for an int 20 somewhere. If I only would finish my hex edit program, I could search for CD20. It's only, well, there's a 50% chance it's a line, right? It's a 2-byte instruction. So there's a chance that you would see it. It's too late now. The little DOS 16-bit stub. Well, we can trace through this. This has been loaded up as though it were a COM file. It's still run. What happens? Trace. Pop dx. This is meaningless. Do nothing. This is just garbage. 0003. No. Now, how did it go though? When I said go, it ran. That means, okay, debug. How do I make it just run? Yeah, I know. Debug path test file specifies command line information required by the file you want to test. I see. What would be known in this case? What can we do? Or if we just look, maybe I'll get recorded. Terminated runway. Where are we? We're at 100. You see that? It terminated and it left us back where we started. No, that's not usually the case. Usually it leaves you it leaves you wherever the quit was. F. These are zeros. Into. This looks like not garbage necessarily. Pop SP. That seems weird. What would you expect the result of that to be? LAHF. Oh, this instruction. I've heard of it. It should be in my references. Still have a bunch of reference stuff. Is this running now? I had it suspended. It's encoding. I was using this program to encode a video. All I've been doing is encoding videos for the past week or so, or longer. How do I get to the top? Table of contents. Instructions. Upcode map. Control F. Yeah. Load flags into the A-Hive. Oh, that's what that does. Okay. Load into A-Hive flags. Okay. Nothing mysterious. So that works in 16-bit line. And then it's just garbage. So. But into it might be a kind of a jump. Right? If it is, that way it could explain why it ran. One what? Yeah. Call to interrupt. Yeah, okay. It's, oh, I see, like int. But it's got an O. I think it's like it goes into protected mode. Int or into? Interrupt from 386 mode. So, into, okay, I'm reading this. I'm reading it. The instruction into protected mode, from the 86 mode to privilege level 0. PM119 call, okay. Into. This is the same instruction. So it depends on what mode you're in, maybe? If over, okay, the flags, these are all interrupt for task gate. Okay, that's probably it. If into, when I said go, it just probably started at 0. Let me just try this again. What's IP? IP. It says 100, but I don't think it's really 100. It says 100 though. Could it possibly get 100? No. If there's a ret anywhere, lock. No. 0. A rat would take me there. And that's a cool. 0 said into. No, it's changed. I see, it's all messed up. Other symbol 0. How would I say it last time? It's not recorded because every time I go in there, it clears up the video. Alright, make a new box. I think it's just random. Clearly they run. If I rename it to an exe number, that's no good because I'm still not in 16-bit Windows. But there's a program on here called Command. Yeah, I could try that. See? Command Command. No, it looks like I'm in 16-bit mode. Okay, if that's true, where do I want to go? Where is it? Dot. I forget where it is. Tab doesn't work, of course. CP2. No, I won't be able to get into that directory. However, not done yet. What's our tech diamond? Copy. Okay, I'm just going to run that. But I'm not in Windows, I'm in DOS. There it is, see? That's the message. Okay, now that really was being run as though it were in a 16-bit environment. And this is the message that gets printed out when you try to run a Windows program under DOS in the year 1982 or something. It doesn't do that anymore. But that's a program that ran properly as a program. right? A 16-bit program. That there, Allen.exe, is a 16-bit program. It's also a dynamic link library. It's one or the other depending on which environment you run it in. And that's why okay, back to these DLLs have the MZ in front of them, or traditionally had them, I guess, because I guess one might try to execute them, because they're sort of like programs, and they want the same message to come up. So there's a little stub of 16-bit code somewhere in there. I don't know how to decipher a portable executable. Anyway, as far as the hook, what this thing did, is this the old one? Open that out. Let me put the old one back and show you. Yeah. I can change it. Com DLG. Okay, this one's been modified. But I just have to change that to 2. Let's read only. Do I have it in source save? Possibly. Doesn't matter. Save that. And if I put it in the directory of this go, I'll show you the bad behavior. Is there any more occurrences? That's the only one. Okay, run the program. Now this is just a matter of pure bad design. Open up a file, new file, video file, okay, there's one. Now suppose I want to save this, right? Okay, now it's lucky I happen to be in here, but let me open a different file with a big long name like that. Okay, I've opened the file. Now I want to save it somewhere, right? Okay, what was it called? Oh, here it is. I have to, now I've got to type all this in exactly, right, somewhere, without making a typing mistake. Why doesn't it just, it knows what the file name is, it's written here, can't it just put that in here as the default, you know? It doesn't, so I change that default to just put in the last file, open it. Where are we? Now, if I run it to fix, and not only that, but I also changed the extension to AVI. It wasn't an AVI font that I opened. But whatever. Okay, I open this file, and now I want to save it, and see it's got the right name, right? That's all. Now, how hard is that? How hard is that to do? Quite simple, really. The difficult part was finding out where the hell that dialog was being launched from. It's from something called Qt, the Qt lib. So it's not really the fault of the people who make AVI demarks. Is the one? Could be. I can tell by the location. No, it's virtually the wrong one. Do I have that? I do have that here. I'll check it out. Leave. Now check it in. What I should be saving is not the modified version of the original, in case I lose the thing. Right. See here, I'll just declare this buffer, and when somebody calls get open file name, it only calls the wide character version. Then if that succeeds, I copy into my buff, max path characters long, the file name part, just the name, plus the .avi extension. And by the way, well, no, that's not true for file name. If it was a directory name, then I could be sure of this length. But for a file name can be any length. So really, but I know how big their thing is, right? Their buffer. I mean, I could just malloc it, right? But given the string length of this string, whatever. This is safe. It'll cut it off, and I'll get a funny cutoff name in the case of a 3,000 character long name, and I wouldn't want to save that name anyway. So it's in the buffer, and anytime a save occurs, I copy that right into this buffer, given the size provided. This structure tells you how big this buffer is, so I can copy this in up to this maximum number of characters, and then run the get save file name. If that succeeds, Then I include the extension in this copy. Refresh the buffer with whatever was typed. Right? This is what's going to go on the title bar. If it happened to be a .ts file or something, you can do that with that program. You can save the transmission stream format files. Then that'll be what goes in this buffer. The next save, the only way that you would ever want to modify this data is if the file currently open changes, right? And so that only happens when you open another file, in which case it'll be modified. On the other hand, there are selections. You can choose the format of the exported file, and that would change the extension, but I'm not too worried about that. So that's one program fixed. Another program with another program. An add-on. Now you see these. I like to be in the blue environment when I'm here. You see these things called .vd plugin, right? No, well, I don't know about this .vdf. No, it's also a DLL. They're all DLLs, right? They might have funny extensions, but they're DLLs, executable images. Same as this thing. So it's just a DLL, and you can hook it. You can dump in its exports or imports. Let's say imports. Okay, now here are the imports for bblock.vdf. You see. Now what about exports? That's the most important. How do these plugins work? Okay, they must export a special magic function, right? In order for VirtualDub to recognize. Well, here it is. There appear to be two functions, possibly more. There's a VirtualDub filter module init2. I bet there's an init1, for an older version. And then there's VirtualDub module dinit, which is just called when the thing is closed, obviously. I don't know the format of this, but I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult to figure out. Now it's not saying how many. It might be a void function. There's no at anything. There doesn't seem to be any information about what gets pushed on the stack, if anything. It's got to be Pascal calling convention, I'm sure. The reason I noticed that was I noticed this. I went into one of these directories just out of curiosity because this thing is so crazy. Was it PPP? Yeah. See this stuff? Okay, now this says DLL, right? But it turns out all of these are DLLs. Anything. See? M said, this program cannot be run in MS-DOS. Next one. This program cannot be run in MS-DOS. See what I'm saying? All these things, like this YouTube thing, is a DLL that does something. Right, I don't know what it does. I can see what it exports. Probably just a few functions. Okay. Open, close, and express. Those are the three main exports for these PPP things. PPP typically means peer-to-peer, right? Protocol. Now, I don't know what peer-to-peer has to do with YouTube or Vimo or whatever the hell else is in here. Vimo, you know, and this screensaver, another DLL. And this UV screensaver, it's also a DLL. Oops. See, they're all DLLs. Anyway, I just thought that would be something of interest. So all these files typically that you're going to find in these wacky directories, although they might look harmless enough, are often DLLs dressed up with a fancy extension. Who knows what, well, JavaScript is probably JavaScript. How about plugin? Well, that one's actually, I'm not ashamed to admit it's a DLL. Paper. Bitmap. Is it really a bitmap? That is a bitmap, alright. But if they're like me, this bitmap is no picture. This collection of bitmaps is no picture. It's probably, it could be different types of paper. Yeah, it could be. Anyway. I wasted a bunch of time. And I wanted to talk about that marshalling thing. So I'll get to that. This is just a diversion. I also have another slight diversion being encoded here. So maybe I can put this diversion together with that diversion and have a complete and total diversion before discussing marshalling.